The ocean has no shortage of dangerous animals. Sharks built over 400 million years, sperm whales that dive a kilometer into the dark, creatures with venom, with armored skin, with jaws that crush bone. And above all of them, unchallenged, moving in coordinated silence through every ocean on Earth, the orca. Nothing hunts the orca. The orca hunts everything else. Just before we continue, we're new to YouTube, and we've just created this channel for wildlife enthusiasts like you. We need your support to keep moving forward. Consider subscribing to help us continue this adventure as long as possible. There is a moment documented multiple times off the coast of South Africa that captures what the orca is better than any description can. A great white shark, 3 meters long, 600 kilograms, one of the most effective predators in the ocean, is moving through the water column when 2 orcas appear below it. The shark turns. The orcas are already positioned. What follows takes less than a minute. The great white does not escape, and then the orcas leave, taking only the liver, leaving the rest of the carcass to sink. The great white shark is not prey for most things. For the orca, it is a specific target, hunted with a specific technique for a specific nutritional reward. That is the difference between an apex predator and the apex predator. The shark is feared. The orca is the thing the shark fears. Orcanus orca reaches 9 meters in length and 6 metric tons in weight. It moves in bursts up to 56 kilometers per hour. Its teeth are built not for filtering or crushing, but for gripping and tearing, conical, interlocking, and strong enough to hold a struggling humpback whale calf while the rest of the pod works around it. Its echolocation system produces clicks that return detailed acoustic images of the environment, the size, shape, speed, and direction of every animal within range through water that vision cannot penetrate. No adult orca has a natural predator anywhere on Earth, not one. But size and speed alone do not explain what the orca actually is. What separates it from every other marine predator is the layer above the physical, the brain, the culture, the accumulated knowledge passed between generations in the form of hunting techniques that vary by pod, by region, and by prey type. The orca is not simply powerful. It is intelligent in a way that changes what power means in the ocean. The orca's brain is the largest of any marine mammal. Not the largest relative to body size, the largest in absolute terms, with a highly developed limbic system that neuroscientists associate with emotional processing, social bonding, and long-term memory. Orcapods maintain dialects, distinct patterns of clicks and calls that identify pod membership across generations, functioning as a form of cultural identity that has no parallel in the animal kingdom outside of humans. A pod's dialect does not change significantly over decades. Young orcas learn it by listening and practice, the same way a human child learns language. Different orca populations around the world have specialized so completely in different prey types that they have diverged into what researchers call ecotypes. groups that share a species but hunt in entirely different ways and rarely interbreed. Transient orcas moving in smaller groups along the Pacific coast specialize in marine mammals, seals, sea lions, dolphins, and whales. They hunt in near silence, minimizing acoustic output to avoid alerting prey. Resident orcas in the same region specialize in fish, using loud calls and coordinated herding techniques that would immediately alert a marine mammal to their presence. The two groups share an ocean and ignore each other. They have developed different cultures, different communication patterns, and different hunting traditions in the same water, and they have maintained those differences across generations without any physical barrier between them. This is not instinct. Instinct does not produce regional variation. Instinct does not require teaching. A body of knowledge about how to hunt specific prey in specific ways, transmitted from experienced adults to younger animals through observation and guided practice. And those traditions, applied to prey as diverse as herring and blue whales, have made the orca the most ecologically dominant predator in the ocean. The techniques themselves are where that dominance becomes visible. A school of herring, several million individuals moving as a single coordinated mass, has no straightforward defense against what is about to happen. The pod divides its roles without any signal that outside observers can identify. Some animals take positions on the flanks of the school, others below, others at the surface. The herring, responding to the orca's echolocation and movement, compress, drawing together into a tighter and tighter ball, which is the prey behavior that the orcas are deliberately inducing. A compressed school is easier to work than a dispersed one. The orcas know this. The herring do not know that their defense response is being used against them. The tail slaps come next, sharp, powerful strikes against the surface of the bait ball that stun individual fish through shockwave. The stunned fish sink slightly. The orcas feed from below. The entire sequence, positioning, compression, stunning, feeding, is repeated until the school is gone. It is coordinated, efficient, and has clearly been refined through repeated application. Young orcas in the pod watch attempt their own tail slaps and are corrected by adults when the timing is wrong. They are being taught. Against seals on ice floes, the technique changes completely. Antarctic orcas approach a floe carrying a seal, read its dimensions and the seal's position, and then generate waves by swimming in coordinated formation. The waves tilt the ice. The seal slides. If it does not enter the water, the orcas reposition and try again. Mothers have been observed releasing a seal they have already caught back onto the ice so that a younger pod member can practice the beaching technique, a behavior that serves no immediate nutritional purpose and exists entirely as instruction. The beaching technique itself, launching partially out of the surf onto a rocky shoreline to seize a sea lion, is one of the most physically risky behaviors in the orca's repertoire. An orca that beaches improperly can strand itself and die. The animals that perform it successfully have practiced it under supervision, been observed making incremental improvements across seasons, and execute it with a precision that reflects exactly that kind of accumulated experience. Against large whales, the approach scales up completely. The pod fans out to prevent escape routes, some animals position to block the mother's access to the calf, others tire the calf through repeated contact, biting at the flippers and flukes, the fins and jaws, the anatomical points that, when damaged, reduce the whale's ability to maneuver and accelerate. The mother fights back, striking orcas with her flukes, interposing her body between the pod and the calf, performing the same defensive role that a moose performs against wolves, protecting one side while the attack comes from another. The orcas have done this before. They know which angle she cannot cover. They wait for it. The endurance chase can last hours. The outcome, when the pod has selected a viable target, is rarely in doubt. The great white shark arrives at the Farallon Islands in September. It has been using this site for years. The elephant seal colony that hauls out on these rocks, and the shark has a track record here measured in seasons. It knows the water. It knows the routes the seals take between the rocks and the open ocean. It is, on any normal day, the most dangerous animal in this stretch of water. The orcas arrive in October. Within days, every tagged great white shark in the area has left. Some of them do not return for the entire season. Some do not return the following year. A 2-meter acoustic signature, the echolocation clicks and social calls of an orca pod, is enough to move great whites out of feeding grounds they have used for years. The sharks do not test the orcas, they leave. The tonic immobility technique the orcas use against sharks is precise and appears to be learned. A shark flipped onto its back enters a biological state of paralysis that lasts several minutes, long enough for the orcas to position and make their extraction. The liver of a large great white contains enough caloric energy to sustain an orca for days. The orcas take it and leave the rest. There is no excess, no waste, just a specific nutritional target acquired through a specific technique, executed with the efficiency of an animal that has done this many times before. Documented attacks on blue whales, the largest animals that have ever lived on Earth, follow the same principle, scaled to its extreme. Pods of 30 or more orcas have been observed coordinating against adult blues, working in rotating teams, sustaining the attack for hours, targeting the same anatomical points. Blue whales have been confirmed killed by orcas on multiple occasions. The largest animal on the planet has a predator, and that predator hunts it in teams. The orca does not win because it is the biggest, with a flexibility that no other ocean predator can match. A great white responds to its environment with instinct refined over millions of years. The orca responds with strategy refined over generations, a different kind of refinement, operating on a different time scale, producing a different category of predator. Every ocean on Earth has orcas. Every prey population those orcas interact with has been shaped by that interaction. The great whites that leave the Farallon Islands, the seal colonies that have moved their haul-out sites, the whale populations that have learned specific evasion behaviors in response to specific orca tactics. The orca does not simply exist in the ocean's food web. It restructures the food web around itself simply by being present. Nothing in the ocean has found an answer to that. And nothing in 400 million years of marine evolution has come close. If this is the kind of world you want to explore, subscribe now. We are just getting started.